What's up, niche community? Welcome back to another John Supercell classic. Today we have scripting tutorial number one. All right. Okay. So when you load in the studio, the very first thing that you guys are going to want to do is navigate up to the top row here, and you're going to see view. Click on view. Now we're going to hit Explorer, Properties, and Output. I personally like to keep command bar open. That's up to you. Now, essentially, um, the Explorer here is going to let us see everything in Studio. So we can see that we only have the base plate, the spawn point, and then the properties window is going to let us see all the properties, like how big it is, you know, if you can see through it or not. Ooh, that's space plate. But that's the big idea. And then your output over here, if there's an issue with one of your scripts, the output here is going to let you know. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to come up here, we're going to add a part. All right, and now the goal is that we are going to make this part change colors. Very advanced scripting knowledge required. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to navigate over to the Explorer here. We're going to locate our part. I'm going to rename it just for the love of the game. A cool part. Yeah. And then we'll add this little plus here. This allows us to add things to the script, or not the script, to the part. And you can pretty much add anything. And then the way adding things works is through a parent and child relationship. You basically how it works is there's a parent object, and the parent object has children. So you know it can have as many children as it wants, but they can only have one parent, and they can sort of go down the ladder like that. If that doesn't really make any sense, I'm going to link the documentation in the description. Oh, hold up. All right, we got to make this quick. I got to make dinner. But yeah, that's essentially how it works. So we're going to go ahead and get these out of here. Now, when you pop your script open, you'll see it has already written out hello world for us. Basically, print, what that does is whatever you write in here, whatever you put in here, is going to be put in the output over here. So print hello world. We can go ahead and change this to whatever we want. Hello, John Supercell. Now, when we go to play, you'll notice over here in the output, hello, John Supercell. Pretty high-tech stuff. We'll go ahead and go back to our script here. Now, one thing you'll notice is that it's in quotation marks. This is a string. You need to make sure that when you're trying to print text like this, it is a string. If we take out the quotation marks, Studio doesn't really know what we're trying to say here. Like, we'll go and we'll play this. Yeah, it's looking for a string, but it got John. It doesn't really know what John is. But for now, we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. So the goal is to change the color of cool part here. Now, if we go into our script and we just write cool part, we'll get a little red line. Now, if there's a red line, that means there's an error with the script. And you can see when we click play, it's not going to run. Now, the issue is the script doesn't know what cool part is, doesn't know what we're talking about. So to define something in a script, you need to type local Now, local is basically just telling the script that this thing exists. And then we'll say local part. Now, the script has local part as a value, but it doesn't know what local part is yet. So we'll say equals, and then it looks like it's already given me the answer here. Script dot parent. So if we go back to our Explorer here, we can see script and cool part. Now the script knows that it is the script, and then parent is above the script, so that's cool part. So now the script knows when we write part, we're talking about cool part, not any other parts. The other way to do this is, go ahead and erase this, and you're going to do game. So the game is like the game itself. It's all of this, all of everything in the Explorer. And then game dot workspace. Now workspace is this right here. It is the 3D world. So when you play Roblox, like everything takes place in the workplace, but all the coding and scripts goes on, and all these guys down here. So like players, server script service, server storage, all this stuff down here. That's where everything gets stored and all the code goes on. But all like the Roblox happens in the workspace. Now there is some deviation to this, but that's a later subject. For now, just think of it like that. So game.workspace, and now we want cool part, so we're going to type cool part. Now, if we were to move cool part into the base plate, suddenly it's no longer workspace. It's no longer under workspace. It's under base plate. So we have to change that to baseplate dot cool part. So we'll move everything back for now. But if you ever do move things around in your Explorer, just make sure you update your scripts. That's why I prefer the script.parent method, because even if I relocate cool part to baseplate, the script still knows I'm talking about cool part. So now the script just knows we're talking about cool part. It doesn't know we're actually what we're changing. So we're gonna go down one line, and we're gonna write. We'll go down to line 3 to keep it nice and organized. We'll type part dot color. So part dot color equals, kind of gave me the answer here, color 3 dot new. So basically what we're doing here is part, as we're talking about cool part, and then color. If we get out of the properties here for cool part, you'll be able to see the color. So what we're doing basically is, if we go back into the workplace, if we change this number to, I don't know, 3, you'll notice the part turns yellow. That's because we changed the RGB numbers for cool part. RGB means red, blue, green. These are kind of like the 3 basic colors in computers. So basically, I'm going to change that back to gray. When we go in here to color 3.new, because we're typing 3 different numbers, we have to use color 3.new. If we were messing with like the transparency, it would just be a regular number. And since we have 3 numbers, we need to use color 3. So then when you get here, you're going to click this little button here, and then this pop-up is going to come up just like it did for your properties. And you can change this to whatever color you want. I'm going to do a nice green. Click OK. And then it will pull the numbers for you. Go back to your place. We're going to hit play. You'll come in. You'll notice the part has changed colors to green. And then just for knowledge's sake, we'll go back down the cool part here. The transparency is just a regular number. So we would do part dot transparency equals 0.5. Now this is going to change the part to be halfway transparent. The closer to 0, the more solid it is. But the closer to 1, the more see-through it is. And then at 1, it's completely invisible. And at 0, you can't see through it at all. Yeah. And then, basically, the last one that I'm going to show you is the material for the part. So when we go up here to the material tab, right by where we used to spawn the part in, you'll notice all these different materials we have access to. Roblox provides these for free. You can use them in your games as you like. So what we'll do here is we're going to say part dot material equals enum dot material dot, and then we can pick whichever one we like. I'm going to go with neon here, like a nice uranium brick. So you'll notice that we're using enum material neon. So essentially, we can't just write neon like this because it thinks that this is a word, not a thing. If that makes sense, this is closer to a number.
I have new shoes? Of course, buddy. I have a hole in my shoes. I have a hole in my shoes. I have a hole in my shoes.
Do you have any relationship with your
shoes? I have a hole in my shoes.
So essentially, enum material neon, we can't just write neon because it doesn't know what we're talking about, and we can't write neon like this because this is the word neon, not the material neon. So to properly differentiate, we write enum, which is just essentially Roblox has a huge library of things, and this is just how you reference that. And then material, this sort of narrows the search results down, so it keeps it in folders. It's quite similar to the parent-child relationship. So you can look up material, and then all your materials are listed under. So if we go ahead and hit play, you'll notice our part, it's glowing a tad bit. It's kind of hard to tell when it's transparent. But essentially, that's how you change the properties of a part with scripts. In the next video, we're going to get slightly more advanced. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. And I'll link documentation in the description for all 3 of these things. And just some general stuff to read up on. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.